just finished up 2 Zooms, and something that came to me with an event before they both started, and I want to convey, because I did in these visits, and it was powerful. So, I have a fixed gear beach cruiser that's an original Santa Cruz. Bought it for $25 off Facebook Marketplace, whatever. The guy's like, I got tires on it, everything's good, it works, but it's seen its share, it's worked. There's a basket on it, I zip tied it to secure it even more. It just gets me A to B, it's perfect. But the fixed gear, it's tough, and I've ridden it on certain challenges you guys have seen, or if you're new to this page, I've ridden 21 miles dropping off my Sprinter van and made a commitment that the challenge was to ride the 21 miles but never stand up. And San Diego surprisingly has a lot of hills that people I don't think are familiar with, but really steep hills. And so there'd be 3 or 4 massive hills, but I could not stand up. And fixed gear means there's no shifting gears. It's just a fixed one gear, one speed. So there's no mechanical advantage other than just it being a basic bike. So I had the bike in the back of the rig. I drop it off. I have 17 miles back. I've done this before. I've done 21. This is no problem. So I'm riding, and I'm like, what the fuck is this so hard for? Holy shit. I had to stand up. Like, I had to stand up on straightaways. So I'm like, oh my God. It was taxing, and it was emotional, and it was mental, and I was dripping, and I was just like, oh. And I rode through 3 different towns, 2 that I saw a friend that I recognized twice, and one didn't even know if it was them, and I couldn't say hi because I was on a straightaway and I was just trying to grind. My legs were absolutely cashed. My feet were slipping off. Everything was just so difficult. I'm like, oh my God. So I'm running through my mind like, what is it? Why am I so tired? Why are my legs? Well, yesterday's training. I do have 2 Zooms. I don't like dropping off my rig to get work done. I've been doing this. I'm going into my life. I'm working on this. This is going into deep work. I've done this. Like, maybe, this is crazy though. I've done this ride. This should not feel this way. Fuck. I get to my house and I'm deplete. I am absolutely cashed. Almost come to the point of just passing out. Not pass out like oxygen, pass out tired, which I've done. Neurologically, I've taxed myself to where I've fallen asleep on the spot, with some tests that I was doing back in the day. My brother had to wake me up. This was just exhaustion, and I got starving, and it was only like 11:15 in the morning. I'm like, all right. So I fed myself. I went in and tried to understand more about myself, and then I'm like, all right, well, wait a second. Nothing matches as to who I am. Nothing really matched up to what I'm going through, to who I am, to how I live, to things in my life, to people in my life, to decisions I make that would match to that expression. You just check the bike. I checked the fucking bike. Both tires were rubbing on the frame. So both tires were pressed along the frame, and I just got a brand new tire because somebody popped my tire. And there was like shedding from the white wall that was building up, but I couldn't hear it. And then the other tire was thrown off. I'm like, what the hell? I didn't have this problem before. My tires were fine. They were just old, but everything ran well. What? No fucking wonder. So I'm like, well, shit, I just got the tire fixed. So I rode the bike, and it was just a grind. I had to stand up the whole time, got to them, and they, of course, thought I was the enemy. And it was just a lackluster business. I won't even say who they were, but it sucks because it's rare that people just do well at what they do. It's so shitty now in today's day that anybody's just good at anything, really good at stuff. And so he fixed it, modified it. I said, what about the back one? Should I just take the bolts off? You can. He's like, well, we didn't touch that one. And it was just like, but if I'm going to do it, I just take the bolts, kind of finagle it. Yeah. All right. So I take it home. My neighbor's here. He does triathlons. I'm like, hey, should my tire, if I spin it freely like this, should it spin and perpetually keep going for a while? And he walked me through it. He's like, yeah. So I take the entire thing off the axle, grease this, lost a ball bearing. This was on ball bearings. Well, shit, it's on ball bearings. What? So I regroup everything, fix it. Everything spins effortlessly. I ride it around the block. Boom, I'm good. So I told him what I did. I said 17 miles, but look at this. Both tires were on the frame. And he's like, holy shit, dude, he's like, I ran one of mine, my tires were too fat, these new ones that I got, but I got like 10 minutes into the ride or 20 minutes into the ride, I just turned around. I'm like, no, I was 3 hours into it. And it took everything in my power. Well, the takeaway here is I felt pretty good about it. Not that I adapted to the mechanical disadvantage, because where's the advantage? It's in me adapting. So, but what I loved was when presented with a physical challenge, a mental challenge, an emotional challenge, a change, call it symptom, call it a shift, call it a wave, I immediately went into me. I went into all the things that I am, that I know, that I could work on, that I could change, that I should be able to summon, it was all about me and my resources and my interaction with this event. How many times do we have symptomatic vitiligo, blister on the forehead, cold sore, trigeminal neuralgia, Bell's palsy, tumors, cysts, snotty, vomit, injury, elbow? How many times do these things happen and we immediately go, all right, what's around me that I can point out? What was in the food? What's on the walls? Let's test the walls. Let's clean the walls. What's in the air? What's in that person's spit? What's in that person? Okay. What's in the water? What's in that drug? What's in the thing that I just had? What did I just expose myself to? Like, we immediately go outside ourselves. What's in the air? What state am I in? Is there any news about stuff in the, like, it is so fast that we go to this, what can we outsource to our expression, when it's not that at all. Ever is it that. It is always the individual's interaction with the thing. And that's when you do the work and you are consistent with it, you will reflexively turn to you anytime anything presents, and then you start to discover you are in the driver's seat. You are the common denominator through every event that's ever happened to you, not the things. Because again, 100 different people, 100 exposure to the worst mold spores known to man that they've freaked you out with. 100 different responses. 100 different versions of you. 100 different of the same worst mold spore, and you have 100 different responses. 100 versions of people sitting in the sun for 3 hours. 100 different reactions. 100 different versions of you, same amount of sun, 3 hours, 100 different responses. So we're going to blame the mold and blame the sun, or are we going to look to the individuals or look to the version of the individual version you are? And that's what we have to get back to. We have taken on what the world wants us to do, which is straight outsource, blame, fault, put all accountability, all safety, all responsibility on something outside us, blame a cause, blame our parents, blame the trauma, blame the alcohol, blame the spouse, blame the germs, blame the viruses, blame the practitioner, blame the walls, the Wi-Fi, the dyes, the metals, the plastics, the you name it, instead of the common denominator in all the responses is the individual. So that was a huge feedback for myself. That's, again, somebody's like, people ask all the time, how do you have so much trust in yourself? Because I'm challenging it every single day. I'm challenging these beliefs, and I go back to these old feelings and thoughts, and in the moment I have to reprogram them on the spot, let alone with my routines, let alone with the essentials that I go in, with the non-negotiables, let alone. So how do I have trust? I'm constantly exposing myself to it. I'm constantly having injuries and symptoms. And where do I go? With me, and understanding myself and understanding my life, and going in and understanding that this is the symptoms and healing and injuries and discomfort and challenges are for us, not against us. And so you've known, you check yourself. Anytime you have symptoms, where do you go? Do you go to what you can look around in your environment, what you can blame? Or do you go within yourself, like, why can't I digest this right now? Or why would this food be hard? What is it about me? Instead of what's in here, what's in this? Because that will never be where we find solution, where we find freedom, where we find salvation, where we find answers, where we find understanding. You will never find it outside yourself. You will never find it outside yourself. It is always going to be you. The common denominator in everything in your life that's ever happened to you is you. Done. That's a power.